In the beginning of the construction process, we leaned more towards on how we want to feel when we are using the space.
We like to make what we call architectural portraits, so that when you look at the space, you recognize the people living in them.
I'm Russell Javier, and I'm the principal architect and founder of Auris Design Group.
I'm Jody Castillo, and I'm the creative director and co-founder of Auris Design Group. Nomad Home started as sort of an idea to create a safe space for the both of us. We work together, we live together, we're partners in life and in work. And, we wanted to make a space that would allow us to be ourselves.
So it's been a process for us of exploration and discovery. It wasn't until we were about to build that we finally decided on a base.
We started with materials that we were attracted to. We love using natural materials. The thought process was very organic. We didn't start with a pegboard. We didn't start with a Pinterest board. We started with materials and wanted the materials to sort of lead our thinking. So we started from a simple natural base and we allowed ourselves to layer different ideas on top of that. What inspires us are concepts and ideas. We love mushroom forms, and that sort of came up from that idea of an earthier feel. We use different influences, Japanese influences, tropical influences, Scandinavian influences, and we sort of tailor fit them to approximate a portrait of us. So when you look at this, it's not Japanese Scandi or mid-century. When you look at this, what you're seeing is me and Russell as a space.
Throughout the space, we used a mix of things that are very precious to us and things that we found in our travels. Particularly in the studio, that's where we really wanted to feel creative.
And if we have a signature look, I think it is that each space makes the person living in it feel most like themselves. So when we're in our space, we feel like ourselves. We feel full of joy, we feel at peace, we feel creative. And that's not to say that we reinvented the wheel in any way, shape, or form. Good design doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. But in our practice, in our sort of intuition, good design makes you feel like your best self. In our practice, sometimes form is the function. It doesn't have to always be strictly practical if it makes you really happy. our personal tastes are for our personal home is not the same as what our clients may or may not want for their spaces. For example, we also designed and built Silhouette Home, which happens to be the home of my sister. Silhouette Home, even though it's just across from our apartment, could not be further apart in terms of design approach, in terms of the needs of the space. And for this, we really focused on my sister's need for tranquility. She works a very high-stress, fast-paced job, and she needed a soft place to land. And Silhouette Home, every edge is curved, every straight line is bent.
Every corner that we could soften, we did. This is to create the feeling of softness, and we wanted the space to feel more expansive.
The interesting thing about using curves is that it takes a space that was once subdivided and it makes it feel seamless. So that when you're in one room, you can also feel like you're maybe in the other part of the room, and there's just more fluidity to how you live. And in Silhouette Home, we stuck to a very strict palette dictated by our client / my sister, which was white on white, and then a little bit more white on top of that white. And that's something that is very challenging because it's hard to give white depth. And to do that, we use just the few pops of color, the few authorized pops of color to help make the white space feel even lighter by using very subtle colors like blush or taupe. It is deceptively simple. Truth is, Silhouette Home probably had the heaviest architectural work done to it because of all the curvatures that we applied, not only in the walls, but even in the custom cabinetry that we built. Her TV console and her shelf is an S-shaped curve to sort of mimic her own name. Another attempt at creating that portrait of my sister whose initials are S.
I've lived in a household before with my family wherein we had to take care of my late brother who had to use wheelchair. And unfortunately, our house wasn't wheelchair ready. We had to bring him up the stairs. We had to maneuver around weird corners of the house and tight spaces. And so I have a little bit of understanding as to how a space could be future-proofed in that way. Particularly in Sage Home, that's one of the main considerations in mind. In the selection of furniture and the planning of the house, we really kept in mind how the space will be used right now and at the same time how it will be utilized when they have more accessibility needs.
So the home is not so much a flex on creativity. It has beautiful pieces, but it's not so much an ostentatious design as it is a design that is perfectly made to help facilitate aging with dignity. My parents were very specific wherein having a lot of movable furniture or having a lot of things like floor lamps or table lamps that they'll need to move in order to clean would be impractical for them. So what we did in that particular project was mount every light fixture so that each light fixture is lifted from the ground. It's either a wall lamp or a pendant lamp or a ceiling fixture. In that way, when they use their, robot vacuum cleaner, they don't have to lift their tables and lamps in order for that cleaning to be facilitated. The dining table for Sage Home is a custom design in collaboration with Lamana, one of our favorite collaborators. It's a beautiful oval-shaped table that we designed with accessibility in mind. If and when they need a wheelchair or they have accessibility issues, it's much easier to navigate the dining room because of that design. I feel at peace and I feel safer knowing that if my mom, for example, my mother, who doesn't have the strongest knees anymore, who has issues with her hips or movement, or my dad who has, issues with his heart and other health issues, it makes me feel at peace to know that I can just take an elevator or cross the hallway and I'll be there. It definitely helps to feel connected. I wouldn't be surprised if it helped facilitate us living together with less stress, more peace of mind, and being able to support each other, not just physically, but also emotionally, being able to listen to each other, being able to provide support, which when you're living alone, you can tend to feel isolated.
That's my most favorite part of the entire process of all three spaces that we designed and built. It's really a reflection of where each of the owners in their particular stage of their lives. And it's very important that we, all of us, have our own safe spaces to go back to, so that when we come together again, we feel more ourselves.
Yeah, we feel rejuvenated. I think maybe that's what, in our opinion, that's what good design can do, wherein it can make you feel like your best self so that you can be a better person, be a better part of the world, be a better family member. And that's how it's been for us here with our family living close by.
This video is brought to you by Lamana, the exclusive manufacturer of Ishinomaki Laboratory in the Philippines. Designer furniture that is made locally, made by hand, and made to last. www.lamanaph.com.
Yes, yeah.